When they see you, they gon' see me. An accomplice we will be. We will be one love. Yeah. We gon' last forever, babe. One love. I don't want another lover, babe.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Let me just jump right into this video because there's a lot to unpack. This is going to be a life update video and just tell y'all everything that has been going on. And I really just want to jump into it because there's a lot. So the last time I posted was 3 months ago, and that was my graduation video. So let me just start from what has happened ever since then. So after I graduated, I don't know if y'all knew, but I was a cashier at Walmart and I ended up switching to overnight stalker. And then, I don't think I showed y'all, but I got new piercings. Don't mind me, I look really crazy, but I got this piercing up here and I got my 2 nose piercings all at the same time, same day, literally in the span of like 5-10 minutes. So I got 2 new piercings and I got this, my helix done. Okay, and then as you can see, I have a different hair color. The hair color that you see is like a turquoise kind of color, and it kind of like fades to green, but that's not the color I had originally dyed my hair. I had bleached my hair multiple times. That was actually a really dumb decision, but I bleached my hair a couple times and then I ended up dyeing it blue. And if I can, I'll try to show a couple pictures of what my hair used to look like before it faded into this color. So that's that about that. Also, I got a tattoo. So that's that. It's just a picture of Lisa Simpson and Bart Simpson, her choking him because they're a brother and sister. And the meaning behind this tattoo is, well, I got a matching tattoo with my brother. I also tried to put a picture of my brother's tattoo. He got it on his leg, but his is a picture of Bart Simpson choking his sister, and it was a matching tattoo, basically to represent our relationship, but we're still best friends. So we got those matching tattoos. I just told you that I would transfer to an overnight stalker at Walmart, and after being there for like 2 months, I ended up quitting. But let me kind of backtrack a little bit actually. So I don't know if y'all know, but I moved to California and I didn't move by myself. I moved with my cousin Granny. If you guys don't know who Granny is, if you guys look at my previous video, she's my cousin who had a baby, a son, and I always put her in my YouTube videos. That's her. So we ended up moving to California together. Let me backtrack a little bit more and let me kind of tell y'all how this whole originated, why I even decided to move to California, how that all started. So let me backtrack all the way to when I still lived in Pennsylvania, okay? So the red car, my car that I've been driving around. So at this time, a couple months ago, it was technically my father's car because it was in his name, okay? And when I first got that car, the rule was, do not leave the state without you getting permission from me. So even though I was paying monthly payment on it and I was paying the car insurance on it, I was still not allowed to leave the state with the car because my father didn't trust me. And I had agreed. I was like, oh, okay. So that was an understanding. And one night, I think this is how it actually all really started, is that one night, me, Granny, and my other little cousin, we went to go get our nails done. And let me see if I can put a picture of my nails in there for y'all, because that was the first time I ever got my nails done. So we went out that night, and the plan was to get our nails done and to go to dinner. So we didn't get there, I think, until like 7-ish. And mind you, 3 of us were getting our nails done, plus Granny was getting her toes done. So it took a couple hours. And by the time we left the nail salon, it was like almost 10 o'clock. So the plan after getting our nails done was to go eat. And all the places around us were closing because it was getting late. So, all the restaurants and all were closing. So we wanted to go get something to eat. And The place that we ended up going to was in West Virginia. Mind you, we live in the corner of Pennsylvania. So to get to West Virginia is like 20 minutes. So it's like literally a 20-minute drive. It's not like I was traveling all through these states. No, to get from where we were to West Virginia, the restaurant that we were going to was like a 20-minute drive. So mind you, we had already been gone for a couple hours getting our nails done. Mind you, I had my daughter with me and, you know, she had her son with her. So we ended up going to West Virginia to go to the restaurant that we wanted to go to. And I wasn't thinking like, oh, we're about to go to West Virginia, or, you know, it was just kind of complicated, but I wasn't really thinking, oh, we're about to go to West Virginia. Let me call my parents and ask for permission. No, it was just like, oh, this restaurant nearby is closed. This restaurant nearby is closed. Oh, do y'all want to go to this restaurant over here? And I'm like, oh yeah, fine, whatever's cool with y'all. And it ended up being in West Virginia. So I followed behind Granny's car, and we ended up just driving to West Virginia. And we ended up getting there. Then we sat down, and I got a call from my father, and he's like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm at Chili's. And he's like, no, what Chili's? And I'm like, I'm in West Virginia. I think that right there is what like started this whole process for me moving. He was like, do you have my car with you? Because mind you, the car was in his name, so technically it's his. He's like, do you have my car with you? And I said, yeah, I do. He's like, didn't I tell you that you're not supposed to take the car out of the state without getting my permission? And I was like, yeah, you did. And then he's getting upset, and he's like, you know what? I want you to come home, and when you come home, after you guys finish eating, give me the keys to the car and give me the house keys. So at that point, I know I'm in trouble. And yeah, so when we first started to go to the restaurant, I didn't technically know. Maybe it was just me not paying attention or whatever it was, but I didn't know that it was going to be in West Virginia. However, when we entered West Virginia, I did see a big sign that said, welcome to West Virginia. At that point, I should have pulled over and called my father and asked him, can I go to this restaurant in West Virginia? But I didn't do that. I was just focused on, oh, let me try it. It was dark outside, so the only thing I was focused on is let's not lose Granny, because I didn't have the destination in my GPS or nothing. So I wasn't focused on my father. I wasn't focused on the fact that I had the car and I was in a different state. Only thing I was focused on is I want to go to the restaurant. Let me follow behind Granny. Don't lose her. And that was that. So that was the mistake on my part. So I got home, and that's when my father was by the time I got home, it was like 12 o'clock. And my father was waiting. He was like, give me the car keys, give me the house keys. And he was mad at me, and I was upset because in my opinion, I'm like, you're doing a little bit too much. But that was just my opinion. And then, okay, so forward to a couple days later. My father, he pulls me off to the side, and my mother's also sitting on the couch, and he's like, oh, we need to have a conversation. So I'm like, okay. So he's like, me and your mother have been talking, and we have decided that you need to find somewhere else to live. And I kind of already knew he was going to say that, and I had already, like, before he even pulled me over to have this conversation, I was already thinking of, okay, well, they're kind of just doing too much. We're always butting heads, and we just don't get along. So I just kind of want somewhere else to stay. But I was thinking that in my mind. I didn't come to him and say I want to move out. I didn't say anything. Me thinking and trying to figure out how I can move out of the house was all going in my mind. I didn't tell anybody. But he did end up talking to me. All three of us, me, my father, and my mother, had a conversation, and they were like, we were talking about it, and we were thinking, and I think it's just time for you to, spread your wings and fly, I guess. And I guess it's because, well, this is my YouTube channel, so I'm going to tell it how I want to tell it. In my father's eyes, I'm rebellious, and I don't listen, and I just do me, and I do whatever I want to do in no regards to anybody else or how they feel. But in my opinion, it was a mistake. That was the first time I've ever done that. I should have pulled over and called you, but it was a little mistake. And also that I don't do anything bad. I was an overnight stalker, so literally I would go to work all night, get home, sleep, and just do nothing. I barely even went outside. Literally anytime I wanted to get out the house, I would literally go to the store. And so in my eyes, you're making it sound like I'm just this horrible kid and I just don't listen and I just, I'm so terrible. But in reality, I feel like I'm just fine. I mean, I make a couple mistakes here and there, but I feel like you're overreacting. That's how I felt versus how my father felt. And we were just butting heads. I mean, it was just arguments and not being able to get along, and just, I kind of felt like my parents were ganging up on me, and they just, it was just stuff like that. So I think me leaving the state with the car is what really triggered him and was like, okay, you actually have to go. So he was asking me, he said, how long do you think until you will be out of this house? And so my plan was, I have another cousin that lives in Pennsylvania, and my plan was to ask him if I can stay with him and his family. So I was like, in my head, I thought that was gonna work because I was already talking it over with him, and I thought that plan was a go. My mistake. And I told my father. My father asked me, how long do I think until I'm ready to move out? And I told him, hopefully I need about 2 months. Hopefully I don't need more than 2 months. Because I told him, I want to go stay with my other cousin that lived in Pennsylvania. And he said, if you're going to move in with somebody else, you don't need 2 months. So, but I didn't tell him I need 2 months and that's that. I don't need any more time. I said, hopefully I need 2 months, but maybe not. Maybe I need more, maybe I need less. That was an understanding between us both. So he said, okay, you want 2 months? I can give you 2 months. And by the time we had this conversation, the end of my 2 months would be the end of September. So he said, okay, you want 2 months? I'll give you 2 months. And from that day forward, every time we had a conversation about me moving out, it was, oh, Sasha, your time is coming to an end. You have 2 months until you have to be out. And it kind of just made it sound like 2 months and that's that. You don't get any more time. So that's what it kind of sounded like to me, but maybe that wasn't the case. So from that point on, we had that conversation. I mean, we would get along. Me and my mom and my dad, we would get along sometimes, but for the most part, we really couldn't get along for that much at a time, if that makes sense. Like, we would get along for a little bit, and then we would just start arguing and stuff. And then we would get along for a little bit, and then we would just start arguing and going back and forth and having these conversations, and I'm crying and, just stuff like that. So at this point, I'm really just getting fed up. Like, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep crying all the time. I don't want to keep living in this house and feeling like everybody's just ganging up on me. I don't want to feel like, because you just make it sound like I'm such a bad kid. I don't want to keep feeling like that. No, let me actually tell you, let me sidetrack for a little bit and tell you about that story. Okay, so I was driving my car, right? That car, I'm pretty sure I had got it last year in like December. So I was driving my car. It was just a normal day, going to get some groceries, just doing random stuff. And I had Alea with me. Mind you, it's hot outside. Sun is beaming. So I'm driving home after going to Walmart getting some groceries. I look down. Mind you guys, I don't ever let my gas get this low. Like, every time my gas gets like a quarter tank, I always fill it up. But for whatever reason, this day, I just literally forgot. And I just didn't look at how much gas I had in my car. And it was really low. So I was on my way home and I was like, oh, dang, I really need gas. My gas light is on. I'm about to be on E, so I really need gas. So I hurry up and I turn around and I head to the gas station. Y'all, literally, I was at a stoplight, almost to the gas station. I was almost to the gas station and I was pulling up to the stoplight and I felt my car like slowing down. Like, I felt like I would press the gas and my car wouldn't really move, and I would press it harder and it would move a little bit. And at this point, I'm starting to freak out. Like, I'm starting like, okay, well, what is happening? So I come to the stoplight. The light is green. I mean, no, not the light is green. The light is red. The car in front of me goes because the light turns green. I press on my gas and my car starts to drift backwards because, I'm not going anywhere. I'm pressing my gas, but my car is drifting a little bit backwards. So I press on my brake, and at this point, people are waiting behind me, and I'm just freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I start crying. I start bawling because, mind you, this is the first time my car has ever run out of gas, and I'm in the middle of the road at this green stoplight, and people are behind me. And at this point, I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. There's people looking at me on my left, people looking at me on my right, and at this point, I just don't know what to do. So I put my car in park, I put my hazard lights on, I'm just crying. I'm just literally having a whole breakdown. I'm grabbing my hair, I'm just like screaming in my car and stuff. And people are looking at me like I'm crazy. So I don't know what to do at this point. I call my father and I'm just hysterically crying and I'm just panicking because I don't know what to do. Y'all, don't judge me, but I really didn't know what to do because there was a gas station right there, but my car wasn't going anywhere, so I couldn't go. And I wanted to pull off to the side, but I didn't have any gas in my car. So, my fault for speaking fast and all, but I'm trying to get all these stories in. So I call my father. Mind you, he's about 15 minutes away. So I call my father and I'm just crying. He's like, you need to calm down. You need to calm down. I can't hear you. I can't understand what you're saying. So I'm just like, my gas ran out and I'm at the stoplight. And I'm just crying. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I'm at the stoplight. I don't have any gas. And he's like, okay, you need to calm down. He could tell that I was panicking. He was like, okay, you need to calm down. I'm going to grab my gas can. I'm going to come up to where you are. And, I'm going to fill up my gas can, put some gas in your car, and hopefully you should be able to go. So I wait. I roll down the windows. I turn my car off because, it's hot outside. Alea's in the back seat. I know she's going to get hot. So I'm rolling down the windows. I roll down my window and I roll down her window so the air can come and, we can have a little breeze. So I kind of sat there for probably 15, 20 minutes, and he came. He stopped at the McDonald's across the street. He filled up his gas can, and he walked over and filled up my car. Then he's like, okay, turn your car on and see if it starts. My car didn't start up. He's like, okay, turn it off and try it again. Didn't start. Then he walked back across the street, and he got his, I don't know what jumper cables or something. I think he went to go get his jumper cables, and so he came back over, and I popped my hood, and he checked to see how much battery I have left, and I had 95% battery, so it wasn't my battery. And he was just confused, like, why isn't your car starting? And it turns out that my car started smoking under the hood. So my car wasn't going anywhere. My car was smoking under the hood. He was like, all right, you need to call AAA. You need to get out. I'm going to pull up my car behind you. I'm going to put my hazard lights on, so I'll get Alea, and you can get your groceries and transfer everything into my car, and then we need to get your car off the road somehow. So he ended up pulling up behind me, and we transferred all of my stuff from my car and Alea into his car because I was sitting there for half an hour or maybe even more than that, trying to figure out why my car won't start. And then this guy ended up coming to help my father move the car. They put it in neutral, and they ended up moving it into the grass off the road. And then I got in my father's car, and I drove it off the road behind them so nobody would hit them. And that's that. My car ended up getting towed to the nearby shop, and my car was in there for almost a month. It was just so crazy. Things were just happening after, thing after thing was just happening. It was like, wow, I can't get a break. Turns out that I was burning oil in my car. I don't think I had any oil in my car because, mind you, this was a couple months ago. I got the car in December, and ever since I got the car, I didn't put oil in it. But mind you guys, I didn't know anything about putting oil in my car or anything like that. I didn't know that I had to put oil in my car every couple months or every 3,000 miles. I didn't know that. So I was just driving around with no oil in my car, not knowing what to do. That's a mistake I won't make again. So it turns out I was just driving my car with no oil in it, and I needed a whole new engine. I ended up getting a new engine for my car. I ended up getting an inspection. I ended up, fixing stuff with my car that, was wrong with it. And almost a month later, I got my car back. That's also the crazy thing. I forgot to tell you that. The same day that I ran out of gas was the day that I got the car transferred into my name. I did everything. I got the car transferred into my name. I had a title on my way to my house getting sent in the mail. I paid money to get that title transferred into my name as well. It took hours to get it done because we had went the day before. Just things were happening, and it was just so crazy. The first day that the car was mine, all this just started to happen, and it was just crazy. So at that point, the car was mine. I had the title and all that stuff. And then I ended up getting my car back almost a month later. Mind you, all this time, I'm still trying to figure out about moving out. I know I didn't have the car at the time, but I knew it was going to be fixed up. My father was handling it. I was getting a new engine and all that stuff. So I'm still trying to figure out, well, who am I going to live with? Where am I going to stay? Da, 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 da. And at the same time that I was going through situations in my home, Granny was always also going through situations in her home. So one day, you know, we're just walking and talking, you know, taking our kids for a walk around the block like we usually do. And we were just talking, just trying to figure out, I was trying to figure out how I was going to fix my situation. And she was trying to figure out how she was going to fix her situation. And so, you know, me and Granny, we joke a lot. Like, we just say stuff out of our mouths. Whatever pops into our brain, we just say it. And then, you know, just jokes and stuff. So I was like, oh, so are we moving to California? Like, let's move to California because we have family in California. So we're like, you know, just thinking and stuff. We were trying to brainstorm other ideas, but it ended up that those other ideas that we were brainstorming just wasn't really working out for us. So, you know, I was just like, oh, let's move to California, ha ha ha. And then, you know, we just kind of laughed it off. But after thinking about it a little bit, we were like, why don't we move to California? Like, what's the reason why this plan can't work? So we just started thinking about it, like, you're right. Why won't this work? So we get these notebooks and we're thinking like, okay, well, if we really want to move to California, what do we need? How would this work? Who are we going to stay with? How will we get there? Or we just started planning out everything. Like, I can literally go get the notebook and just show you. We had a whole list of just brainstorming and just like, okay, well, if we're serious about moving to California, how is this going to work? You know, we just wanted to make sure that we had thought of everything before we actually decided to make this move. So we called our cousin because our cousin, the house that I'm sitting in right now, my cousin's house. So we had called her up because she had just got this place. So we're like, oh, hey, I heard that you just got a new place. We're wondering if we would be able to stay with you for a little bit. And she said, yeah. She's like, okay, yeah, you guys can stay with me. I've been in your position, you know, no problem. So we're like, okay, that's checked off. We have a place to stay. Then we started thinking about how do we get there? And so I had my car and she had her car checked off. When are we going to leave? And we had a due date, but that due date started, you know, moving up like closer and closer. So that's what we had going on at the time. And so we had a list of, at this point, this move is serious. We're both serious about it. We both want to get out. We both want to have a new start. We both want to, you know, just start doing new things and just move out and, you know, just get a fresh start, I guess, if that makes sense. So we started making this list. When are we going to leave? How much money do we need? How are we going to get there? What do we want to take with us down to what do we want in our suitcase? What do we want in our cars? We went to the store and started shopping for food and snacks so that we can have on this drive. I even went out and bought a little tablet for Alea to go on the back of the headrest and a little tablet holder so that she can watch TV and stuff when she gets bored. Like, literally just started doing all that stuff. Like, mind you, it's kind of crazy to me because we literally just thought up this plan of moving to California. I'm 18 years old with an almost 3-year-old daughter, and I'm thinking of driving all the way from Pennsylvania to California, and that's just crazy. But after planning and talking about it and getting together almost every day and making sure that this is what we really want to do and that we have everything planned, we were going out and buying stuff, shopping and doing all this stuff. We were getting ready to leave. So literally when the time came for us to leave, we left. We packed up our cars. I mean, we left around 10:30-ish, and we met up at the gas station, and we got on the actual road at around 11:30. So literally packed up our cars and packed up our suitcases and packed up everything we wanted to take, and we got on the road. I wasn't going to tell my parents where I was leaving, but they ended up figuring out themselves, like the day of, I think, that I left. I think it was the day that I left. They ended up figuring out, oh, you're moving to California. And I was like, yeah, you guys are right. And my brother was visiting, so, you know, I said my goodbyes to my parents and my brother. We really didn't tell anybody else, like other family members, aunts and cousins. We didn't really tell them. We just wanted to kind of like, you know, kind of keep it secretive because, you know, we didn't want like people to discourage us, and we didn't want to have second thoughts because we really liked this idea. So we didn't really want to tell anybody about it. But yeah, so we ended up getting on the road. We said our goodbyes to our immediate family and we started driving. It took us around 2 days because we left at 11:30, which is technically like the next day. So we left at around 11:30 at night and we were just driving. It only took us about 2 days, and we did stop to get a hotel twice, and we pushed around 9 or 10 hours a day. So that's a long time, but we ended up getting here. We didn't have any problems with, gas and stuff. God was really watching over us, and yeah. So we got here safely, and now we're staying in our cousin's house, and we're just trying to figure out, just trying to get the feel of California. Everything's just different here. So we're just trying to feel it out, get jobs and stuff, and just, get our own place, hopefully. So that's what is going on. And hopefully I didn't forget anything, because a lot has actually gone down since the last time I posted to now. And hopefully I'm not forgetting any of the major stuff, but that's kind of really what's going on right now. I'm looking for online jobs. I don't really want to go physically get a job because I don't really trust daycares and stuff. I mean, if I have to go get a job and put Alea in daycare, I will do that. But I don't really want to do that. I kind of just want to get a at-home, work-from-home job, or, like take this YouTube thing really seriously so that this can be my income. That's just certain stuff that I have to figure out now that I moved to California. I do still keep in touch with my parents and everybody. I send pictures, we talk on the phone, we FaceTime, this, that, and the third. So I think maybe now that I don't live with them, that our relationship will get better. Hopefully it does. But yeah, that's kind of it right now. I feel like I was talking really fast and I'm kind of out of breath, but I was just trying to update you guys because, I actually do really miss you guys, but it's just a whole lot has been going on and just crazy. But hopefully now I'll be back and I'll be uploading multiple times a week. So pray. I guess for this video, that's kind of all right now. Those are almost all of the major things that have happened since the last time I posted. I will definitely be updating you guys on future things. I'll be doing vlogs. I have a vlog that I need to edit, so I will be posting that in a couple days. But I really miss y'all, and I hope that, I can really start getting into YouTube again and just everything will just fall into place. Thank you for watching. If you did, I missed y'all, and I'll be back soon.